Zoe, you're a star. That's terrifying. Hey everybody, thank you so much for clicking on this video. So today we are doing a little game of overrated versus underrated. I went on Instagram yesterday and I asked you to give me any topic in health, wellness, fitness, anything at all. And I'm gonna tell you if I think it's overrated or underrated. Also, let me tell you, you guys y'all turned up. First one, protein powder. I'm gonna actually say protein powder is overrated, and hear me out. I love protein powder, but it is a supplement, meaning that this should be an extra way to hit your protein goals, not the main way. Ideally, for our overall nutrition, the best way to get in our protein is through natural food sources, but that can be really difficult. So I'm not saying that protein powder is bad. I'm just saying that what I see on social media and what I see pushed a lot is, we'll just add protein powder to every one of your meals and then you'll be good to go. I would rather figure out what is deterring you from reaching from a whole food protein source, which is also gonna have different vitamins and minerals and other nutrients, than simply reaching for a protein powder. Hand and wrist weights. Talked about it before in the form of ballad bangles. Overrated. I think they have a great purpose, but I think that most people enjoy them because they're pretty and they're dainty. And we're sold this idea that if we weight down our teeny tiny little delicate female baby wrists, that we're gonna have long, lean muscles. Not how the body works. All you're doing is increasing how heavy your arms are by like a pound or two. So for most people, I think they're really overrated. I would rather work on, can you squat well? Can you hinge well? Can you overhead press well? Do you know how to properly hold a plank? I would rather work on those things before just loading your ankles and wrists up with weights. Supplements. Okay. Oh my gosh, these are all overrated so far. Supplements, in my opinion, are overrated. We kind of talked about that with the protein powder already, but I want to delve a little deeper. The reason that I think supplements are so popular is because most of the time there's an affiliate link attached to it. So obviously influencers and content creators, they're going to be pushing these things where they get a kickback on it. Most supplements you do not need. If you need a supplement, I would always recommend checking with your doctor first. I actually, as a trainer and a nutrition coach, I am not qualified to tell you what supplements to take. Most people don't realize that. That is out of my scope of practice. But there are certain demographics. Let's say I have a plant-based eater who I'm working with as a nutrition client. I will say to them, you should get a blood panel done from your doctor if you have not already, because very often vegetarians or plant-based eaters are deficient in certain vitamins. The best way to find out if you are deficient in something is to go to your doctor, and then from there, maybe you can adjust your diet, or maybe you need to take a supplement. Products like Liquid IV. I've actually talked about these before in this video all about hydration. And this is essentially it's kind of just like an electrolyte supplement. It makes your water more hydrating. I would say that these things are perfectly rated because there are a lot of situations that are very beneficial to have an electrolyte or hydration powder in your drink. If you have been sweating a lot for whatever reason, if you're in a really hot temperature, if you maybe had some GI distress, if you drank too much the night before, there's a really broad range of people and situations that could benefit from one of these products. So I think they're actually perfectly rated because they are very trendy right now. So I don't want to say they're underrated. They're perfectly rated as is. An ab wheel. So this is an ab rollout thing. I feel like these used to be so popular and now you never see them anymore. Again, I'm gonna say perfectly rated. I guess I should have addressed that's gonna be a third category. So an ab rollout is working on your anti-extension within your core. Another exercise that works that is a plank. I'm gonna say it's perfectly rated because I do think that this is a very challenging exercise. If I were to start someone who wanted to work on their rollouts, I would first make sure that their forearm plank is really strong. I would move them then into an extended plank, so where their elbows are out a little bit further. Then once we're strong in our isometrics, I would actually move them onto a stability ball because that is actually gonna create a shorter lever, which is gonna make the exercise a little bit easier. And then you would progress your way down to the ab roller. So I think it's perfectly rated, probably just because it's not trendy right now. And the issue with trendy exercises that look really cool is you can see right there, there's a progression that gets you strong enough to do that trendy, really difficult exercise. If you can't do the basics underneath of it, you shouldn't be jumping to that. So perfectly rated, but if it becomes popular again, it's gonna be overrated. Push-ups. We got our first one. Underrated, baby. Push-ups are a very challenging exercise and they require a lot more core control, shoulder stability, breath breath work than people really think. And because they are difficult, people either just kind of get by with like crappy form or they avoid them altogether. Now, I actually have a whole YouTube video about how to get your push-ups, and I also have a 4-week program. Cold plunge and ice baths. This one's really interesting. So if you saw my video about ice not being a great recovery tool anymore, I am very intrigued to see where the science goes on this one. Personally, I don't know really that much about cold plunges and ice baths and things like that, and there is thought to be a lot of benefits to it, but the research is very small right now. So I'm gonna guess that a lot of that research as it develops is going to change the opinion of them based off of what's happened with ice and recovery. Just to sum up that video, if you ever heard of the RICE method, so rest, ice, compression, elevation, as we've studied exercise science more and more in recovery, it's actually been shown that ice and rest don't help with the recovery of your soft tissue. If you have some kind of like sprain or something, it actually can inhibit and delay recovery. So with that being said, I know people use cold plunges and ice baths for that reason a lot of times, and I know there's other benefits as well. Again, I'm not super well versed in it, but I am really intrigued to see where that information goes. Did I give a ranking? I don't know, undecided, perfectly rated, I don't know. We're gonna say undecided. We're gonna say I don't know enough. What I eat in a day videos. I feel like there's two types of what I eat in a day videos. There's the influencery ones where it's like, here's my abs and here's all the food that I ate today, and you're gonna make the natural correlation that I got those abs because of what I ate. And if you eat it the exact same way, you're gonna look like me. Not how the body works. Your genetics play a much larger role than you think. And if you eat the exact same way as someone with perfect abs, you're not gonna look like them. This is not how the body works. Now, there's the other type of what I eat in a day videos that don't do the body checking. I think that obviously the ones with the body checking, they're very like, they're insidious, right? Because they don't even outright say most of the time, like, eat like this and you'll look like me. It's just implied so that when someone calls them out for being problematic, they'll be like, well, I'm just sharing my journey. How dare you? The other ones, look, I'm never gonna post it because I think it's a little too much on the edge of being problematic, but I'm not gonna say that they're problematic. I think that people get a lot of inspiration from them, and that's a really big positive. So I don't have an issue with ones that don't show your body. But in general, what I eat in a day videos, I think are overrated. All right, so I got a ton about athletic greens, bloom, nutrition, and just like green powders in general. I'm gonna leave you with this. They are so overrated, and I have a whole video coming out in the month of April, this month, talking all about greens powders and really deep diving, so I'll just kind of leave you there. Split squats, please say overrated. I hate them. They're underrated. I'm not even talking about Bulgarian split squats. I've made a whole video breaking those down, and kind of like the ab rollout. This is one of those exercises you got to start basic, and the basic is body weight on the floor split squat. It's such a great unilateral exercise, and it works our hip mobility and our pelvic strength and our core and our upper body awareness. It's so great for so many different things of really understanding how to move your body in space as a unit. Also a really great option if you have limited ankle mobility and have trouble with normal like bilateral squats. Working through this as you're working on your ankle mobility is also a great option. So they're underrated. I'm sorry you don't like them. I still think you should do them. Cool downs, I'd say overrated, and hear me out. The science has shown us that if we skip a warm-up of proper mobility and activation and just jump into our workout, the risk of injury and also the risk of inhibited performance, basically meaning like your workout isn't as good. Those are two things through controlled studies have been shown to actually happen if you skip a warm-up. Now, on the other side of the workout, if you skip your cool down, so static stretching afterwards, studies don't really show that inhibits anything. You know, people have this idea of you have to do this long, deep cool down to stretch out your muscles and release the tension. That's gonna help with your, muscle soreness later. No. If you like doing it, that's great. I will still typically do a short cool down at the end of classes because I think that it just kind of wraps up everything nicely. But has the science shown that we need to do that? No, you can. You don't have to. It's overrated. I know it's a really broad topic, but cycle syncing workouts and nutrition. I'm gonna put a pin in this one as well because I have to do a lot more research, and B, I do want to make a whole video dedicated to it. We have to get on that. Maybe hope for that in May. But to tease it is overrated. Taking videos of yourself in the gym. Controversial. I actually think that this is underrated with most people who are not content creators. So most of my clients never film themselves, and I always recommend that they do. Let me just give you an example. Someone will be practicing their push-ups and like, I just don't feel like I'm going anywhere. I don't feel like it's worth it. I'm not going very far. We take a video during their session. They're so much farther down than they think. The other reason that taking videos of yourself is a fantastic tool is because you get to actually see your form. You can see, oh, you know what? I'm arching my low back. You can see, oh, I'm flaring my rib cage. And you can start to self-correct and self-adjust when you don't have, well, I'm assuming you're my client. Most of you are not. When you don't have my eyes on you or you don't have someone else's eyes on you, like you use your own eyes and start to learn like what these exercises are supposed to look and feel like on your body. So I actually think for Gen Pop, it's very underrated. I had to get water. Hi, you wanna come up here? Yeah, come on. You're very talkative. Okay. We'll continue with the video. There you go, you're my little co-host now. Walking workouts, underrated. These are such a fun, quick way to get in like an extra 1,000, 2,000 steps. If you can find one, I love Kira Pros. I think she does a great job of almost making it feel like very beginner dancey. So definitely check out her stuff if you haven't. But yeah, walking workouts, so underrated, and getting in enough steps during your day is very important. Let's choose one more because this video is getting long and Zoe's gonna start cleaning her nether region soon. Oh my God, there's so many. Oh, found it. Found it. Thank you, April. Nailed it. Working out as therapy. Overrated and problematic. The gym is not therapy. Moving might reduce your anxiety. Moving might give you some endorphins. Endorphins make you happy. Happy people don't kill their husbands. They just don't. But the gym is not therapy. The gym is just moving your body, and it's an amazing thing and has so many amazing benefits. Some of them are emotional and mental benefits. But is it therapy? No. And with that, we're signing off. There's so many things on here. I'm gonna go through and see if there's other videos that I can make like a whole breakdown discussion about, because I feel like with some of these, I could really expand upon. So if you have any others that you would like to contribute, leave it down below. If you missed this opportunity to contribute to this video, you should probably follow me on Instagram. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out, and I will see you all in the next one.